Red Auerbach once said, take pride in what you do. The kind of pride I'm talking about is not an arrogant kind. It's about caring, fiercely caring. Red Auerbach's legacy burns bright in the city of Boston, and I want to thank his daughter as well for sharing your dad with us, because I remember being a kid watching the Celtics back in the days. I remember the '76 championship. I certainly remember '81, and I celebrate in '86. So I celebrate in '81 too. But I want to thank you for that. His love for this team, his love for this city lives on. Nowhere is more evident than right here in Red's house. This beautiful new facility brings our Celtics home, so they don't just win championships in Boston. They're also going to train in the city, and Jim talked about that. I can proudly say that this state-of-the-art facility is one of the best in the country, if not the best in the country. This is where the Celtics are going to earn their next title. That blank slate up there, I'm looking forward to. We're not going to talk about parades, but I'm looking forward to having a celebration in Boston when we fill that banner, and it's going to happen here in this great facility. Throughout this work, the Celtics and New Balance have put an emphasis on community. As Jim talked about, he's excited about what's happening here with the Celtics, but he's also, every time he talks about is what's good for the people, what's good for the kids. We had a meeting in my office not too long ago, and we were talking about what we can do for kids in the city of Boston, how we can get them into athletics, how we can get them more active, how we get them more training. And when you have a philosophy in a company like that, that's not just about winning, but it's sharing that. That's important, making sure that that happens. The West End House, every kid is going to have the chance to play on this court on Thursday and learn from the best coach in the NBA, and that's Coach Stevens, who's over here with us. Thank you, Coach, for what you're going to do with the kids. And everything Jim said about the coach is absolutely right. My notes have nothing to do with sports now, so I'm going to jump off for a minute. Watching the Celtics over the last couple of years has been amazing. Watching them grow, watching them play, watching them go to heights that I personally don't think they should have been in some of those games that they were in, and watching the spirit. And the way you do that is not by individuals. The way you do that is by leadership and by team spirit. And it starts with the ownership. It starts with the legends that are here today and the young people understanding the legends of the players of the past, keeping that bar high. But it also starts with having a coach that is an incredible coach and watching him be able to put a game plan up. I listened after, I think it was Game 5 of the Eastern Conference game when the Celtics lost the game before that. I think they lost Game 4. And I was listening to Jason Tatum talking after the game about the game plan that Coach Stevens put out there, and that Cleveland just couldn't get around that, couldn't break the game plan. And I want to thank you, Coach, for investing in our young people, because a lot of those young people that we have on the Celtics today, they are the role models for our young people. And I see them out in the communities. I see them in our schools in Boston. I see them in our schools across the Commonwealth. And I want to thank you for your leadership and thank you for what you stand for. You stand for what Red Auerbach stood for, Boston pride, Celtic pride. So thank you very much for everything you do. I said this at the groundbreaking. This is exactly what I said. Boston Landing is in the Austin-Brighton neighborhood, is an economic engine creating new jobs and new opportunities. There are new homes where the families are going to be, and they're going to be able to begin their stories here. Public playing fields are giving kids chances to be active and practice alongside their heroes here between this facility and where the Bruins are. Beautiful green space is making the area more walkable, a place for people to come together and enjoy and get to know. I grew up in a neighborhood that we knew our neighbors, and Mike Moranis here grew up in a neighborhood, Kevin and Mark and Sal. We all grew up in a neighborhood where we knew our neighbors. And for a while, that started to get different. And what's happening here is we're bringing our neighbors back together so people know who lives next door and who's in the neighborhood, and that's important. We have a new commuter rail station down the street, which opened last year, that is a gateway to our city. I think that this is a place, I know that this building is something that Red Auerbach would have been very proud of. When I walked in the front door with the governor downstairs, he walked in here and commented on the smell, which is true. When I walked in, the first thing you see the Celtic greats. And you understand the great tradition, the great pride of this great franchise. And this great franchise and that pride started with Red Auerbach. And it's important for us never to forget that. He brought a lot of happiness to our city. A lot of those years that he won the banner, there wasn't a lot of positive stuff going on in our city or in our country. And he brought it here to Boston. This ownership is bringing that same pride to our city, continuing that great pride to our city. I want to thank you all. I want to thank the Celtics. I want to thank New Balance for making this a championship city, for earning those banners, for honoring Red's legacy, and for investing in things that make our community stronger for generations to come. Go Celtics.